The clock on the cafe wall ticked with a rhythmic, heavy thud that seemed to echo through the empty room.
Karwan sat at his usual corner table, his fingers tracing the cold, porcelain rim of a teacup he had long since forgotten to drink. Outside, the streetlights flickered to life.
He checked the clock on the wall. 6:15. Malema was 15 minutes late, a delay that felt like an eternity. He stood up abruptly. He walked.
He waited until the streetlights dimmed into the deep, suffocating blue of night.
The next day, he arrived an hour early, his heart a frantic bird in his chest. He paced the length of the cafe, turning his head sharply every time a silhouette rounded the corner.
But it was never her. 3 days passed in a blur of gray light and disappointment.
The routine of the street continued. The baker opened his shop. The birds sang.
But the silence, where her footsteps should have felt like a physical weight on his shoulders. By the 5th day, the hope had turned into a cold, hard knot of dread.
He couldn't just sit and watch anymore. He needed to know where the light had gone. Karwan crossed the road to the small bookstore, his knuckles white as he gripped the counter. "The woman," he started. "Malèna. She hasn't walked this street in a week." The shopkeeper signed,
setting down his newspaper with a look of pity. "She left the city, son, last Tuesday." Karwan leaned against the glass display, his breath hitching in his throat.
The shopkeeper reached under the counter and pulled out a small, worn notebook. "She left this. She said if the man from the cafe ever asked, I should give it to him." Karwan took the book, his hands shaking as he opened the cover. On the first page was a sketch of himself. He stepped out into the cold night air. He didn't head back to his table. He ran toward the train station at the end of the street. Every step was a rejection of the word tomorrow. He reached the platform just as the final train hissed to a halt. He scanned the crowd, his eyes darting between faces until he saw a flash of a familiar coat.
He sprinted. He grabbed her shoulder just as she turned.
She turned, stunned. Without a word, Karwan pulled a crumpled note from his pocket, the one he'd carried for a month but never had the courage to give her, and placed it in her hand.
His chest heaving, he whispered, "I'm not waiting for tomorrow anymore." She opened the note. "If I still have a place in your heart, stay. Let me love you instead of fear losing you."
Then back at him, a soft realization breaking across her face. She stepped off the train just as the doors slid shut behind her. The train pulled away, leaving them alone in the quiet station. Karwan took her hand. It was the first time they had ever touched, and in the silence he finally understood that the wait was over.